Hi, my name is Brico. Have you ever struggled with your identity? Have you ever wondered what you have been put on this earth to do? I had those same thoughts. I was struggling with my identity because it just seemed like there were some things I didn't know and I kept bumping my head and life was just so frustrating. It was a struggle to live. And I needed to have a new meaning of life. And one day I was reading and I came across this book, Jeremiah in the Bible. And I want to reveal to you what was revealed to me and see if this benefits you today. If it can give you a glimmer of hope in your journey and maybe give you some kind of direction. Maybe it might even give you a sign in the way that you need to go. So let's dig in this Jeremiah. We're going to do Jeremiah chapter 1 and we're just going to go over verse 1. That's it. Just verse 1. Verse 1 was so enlightening to me that it fed my soul as I was reading it and as things was being revealed to me as I was reading it, the the more excited I got. And hopefully you can experience the excitement along with me today. But verse 1 in Jeremiah chapter 1 starts off and it says, the words. Now, when you think of this, you might think of words like speaking, and you're correct, like utterances. Or you can say a delivery, like a message, right? And so we know starting off, whatever we're reading about, it's going to be about a message. And normally a message that's being sent has a messenger. If it's a delivery, normally somebody brings it. And in this case, we will see that the messenger or the deliverer of this message is Jeremiah. And on the surface, when you see that word Jeremiah, I don't know what come across as your mind. But what I did is I looked up the word Jeremiah. And it means whom Jehovah has selected. Whom the Lord has selected. To me, that was music to my ears because I put myself in the place of whom. Because even though I couldn't explain it, and you might not be able to, but for some reason I felt like maybe I was selected for something. Then I started thinking, do I have a message to deliver? Do I have a message that was given to me that I need to speak and say? Because if I'm selected, Lord, if I'm in this world and I'm selected, what is the message? What am I supposed to speak? And we're going to go over these words, these utterances later. But it says that this deliverer, this person Jeremiah, this person that was selected, was the son of Hilkiah. Now, Hilkiah means portion is Jehovah, or portion is the Lord's. That he was probably a portion of the Lord. And this was his father. And that's what his name meant. And so I had to think to myself that do I think that I'm part of Jehovah? Or maybe that he has a portion, something, a message. Because he is a priest. Hilkiah is a priest. And the priest, right, their portion is the Lord. They have a relationship with him. The priest, the chief rulers, that's what priest means. It means chief rulers. So the chief rulers, they do sacrifices and they do things inside the temple of God. They make things clean that are not clean in the temple. And they help others restore themselves or be restored inside the temple. And so when we look at this, that this priest, right, and then we look at the messenger, right, the one that was selected, with to deliver the message, it kind of makes us think about God and the Son. I realized that I'm the Son of God and that I was selected. That's what I got out of that. I don't know if that's what you're getting out of that, but that's what I'm getting out of that. That I was selected, that I'm selected. And for some reason, I forgot the message. Somehow I got disturbed enough in this life to be distracted enough to not deliver the message. But God is also a chief ruler. But when we look at it as in the context of our homes and what we grew up and where we grew up at, everybody had a chief ruler in their home. My chief ruler was my mother. She did all the sacrificing for the house. When we did things and when life made her so angry, she pronounced things clean so the wrath of God wouldn't totally come upon and destroy everything. There was some wrath in the house and there was some discipline, but not as bad as a lot of people that I've heard of. And I'm so grateful for that I was passed by, that I didn't get a ticket in that situation. And so that, but not saying that I didn't experience something. We all experience something in the hands of the priests, because their job is to cook, right? Cook and to prepare the meal. And when you're trying to prepare a child for life, it's a struggle and it's hard. And if you have nobody else to tell you how to do it, it can be a very hardening task. And so we got to understand in this situation that this priest, this chief ruler, and your chief ruler could have been one parent, both parents, grandmother, friends, family members, anybody that took the sacrifice to take care of you. And trust me, no matter how we look at it, there was a sacrifice somewhere. And parents sacrifice different reasons. Maybe you wasn't raised up with your mother, but I promise you, it was a sacrifice. You might not understand it and may not even comprehend it. It might be hard to comprehend at first, but trust me, it was a sacrifice. Any parent that does not spend time with their children, it's a sacrifice, whether it's work or they're scared of their own behaviors because they're afraid that their behavior and that the anger of their God on the inside will be released and that their child will be exposed to their wrath and experience it. And they want to save their child from destruction. And because of that type of love and that type of sacrifice, they have to let somebody else who is more qualified to raise that child, another ruler. And so, but these chief priests, see, Jehovah gave them a land. The Lord gave them a land and or an area. I'll say an area, a piece of land, an area of land. In that area of land, it says, who were in Antioch. So these priests were in Antioch. And Jeremiah and his father was part of the group of priests that lived in this area. But Antioch means answers to prayer. In order to get answers to prayer, you have to be in relationship with God, with the inner you, with that inner voice, right? Because if you're in relationship, you can get the message. See, when I was lost, I was separated from God. I wasn't in, my prayers wasn't getting answered. A lot of destruction was going on around me and I couldn't explain it. But definitely, I didn't feel my prayers were getting answered because I wasn't in relationship. So I wasn't in this area or this space in my mind. So these people in their mind, they was in a position or in space where their prayers were being answered. And they was on the land of Benjamin, which means son of the right hand, meaning possessing authority, having power. So if you can think about it, there are spirit beings having the mindset of being in constant relationship in prayer with God. And with that, they feel that they have authority and that they have power because they're on the land of Benjamin, showing the mightiness of God, showing their own might, showing their God's mightiness through them upon the earth. And so this is what I got out of this first verse. And it was enlightening to me that one, right, I have a message. I have something that needs to be spoken. And I promise you, you have a message. Either you speak in your message or you have your message held hostage by pain, by the monster of pain and hurt. And you have dared not to let that voice speak. But I'm letting you know that you have to let it speak because you got a message. So one, I got a message. Two, I'm selected to deliver a message. I'm selected. You're selected. What's keeping you up at night? You not answering your selection. What got you up all night, being out at night, being amidst everybody? Because you're running away from the voice. You're running away from your message because you've been selected. I found out that the reason I was in the situation I was in because I was running. That might not be your situation, but that was my situation. I was definitely running. Then, thirdly, relationship. We gotta have relationship in order to have answers to prayer. Also, too, I didn't forget, but fourthly, we're rulers. We have authority. We're rulers and we have authority. We have a message. We are selected. We have authority and we are in relationship. Those are the four things I learned about myself. And hopefully you learned about something about yourself. I would hate to have this spoken out in vain and not reach somebody. I thank you for your time. I thank you for you listening. And see if that's you, if you're selected. See if you feel that authority in agreement with you. See if you can take time and have communication with yourself. See if you can let that message be delivered. Cry out to God. Cry out to the world. And save somebody along with yourself. Thank you for listening.